Have you ever wondered what the fate of the characters in Avatar World was? Today, I'll tell you the story behind each hero of the game, the ones you've seen many times, both in the game and beyond. This is the beloved school janitor. No one knows his name. It seems not even he does. The janitor was born with green hair, and since infancy, never stopped crying. He screamed so loudly that even when they put him to bed, he still woke up the whole house. His parents often couldn't take it and just sat beside him, crying along with him. They always dreamed he would grow up and become a janitor, like his grandpa, his great-grandpa, and his great-great-grandpa. But the janitor didn't want that kind of fate. At school, he was an excellent student, always raising his hand, even when no one asked anything. Teachers praised him, but classmates got annoyed. He even raised his hand during recess. When he finished school, he dreamed of finding a cool job, but he couldn't. He had to work as a pizza delivery boy. One day, he brought an order to the school principal, and the principal offered him a janitor's job with a higher salary. That's how the janitor became a janitor. Burying his principles, he picked up a mop for the first time. This is the local barber. His name is Bobby. The barber was born with bright red hair, even though neither of his parents were redheads. Since childhood, he loved standing in front of the mirror, spinning a comb in his hands, pretending he was already a real master. He could comb himself 100 times a day, happy if his hair looked even a little straighter. At school, he was very passionate. In shop class, he always reached for the scissors, thinking of ways to cut more neatly and quickly. He often tried to help his classmates, trimming bangs, fixing strands, but usually just made things worse, and they would chase him down the hall. Sometimes he came to school early and started checking hairstyles on everyone who entered the classroom. When he became an adult, the barber once met a random man on the street and offered to give him a haircut while he had some free time. That man turned out to be a wealthy businessman, though he looked like a homeless person. With his money, the barber opened his own salon, and since then, he's been the top hairstylist in Avatar World. This is the local cook. Her name is Lily. Lily was unusual from a very young age. She was always picking things up and trying to organize everyone around her. At school, she loved experimenting with objects. She could line up all the pencils and create a speed contest. At first, her classmates laughed, but then they got used to it. There was always a feeling that Lily was up to something. One day, she held a small contest in the classroom. Whoever could gather all the chairs after class the fastest would get a secret prize. As a result, all the children ran around the room trying to grab chairs from each other, and Lily laughed. When she grew a little older, Lily started helping in the school cafeteria. Not with cooking, but with arranging trays, organizing the line, and so on. One day, an adult came into the cafeteria, noticed how Lily managed the chaos, and kept everything under control. He offered her a position in a real kitchen where she could use her talent, and she agreed. Since then, Lily has become a cook and one of the most organized and beloved staff members in the Avatar World kitchen. This is the school principal. His name is Mr. Gray. He has gray hair, wears glasses, and always looks like he knows all the school's secrets at once. Even as a baby, Mr. Gray was different from everyone else. While other toddlers crawled around and threw toys, he quietly sat in his crib, carefully watching who crawled where and who took what from whom. Sometimes his parents noticed that he seemed to be keeping score, who behaved well today and who deserved a warning. At school, he always loved order, but he did it in his own way. He would write down who was late, keep lists of the noisiest students, and announce the discipline results every day. As he grew older, even the teachers started listening to him. He knew who skipped class, who was hiding in the bathroom, and who was only pretending to study. His memory and attentiveness became legendary, and everyone understood this guy was definitely going places. As an adult, Mr. Gray became the school principal, and it was a perfect fit. He still keeps order, knows everyone by name, and somehow always appears where he's least expected. Now, every school day under his leadership runs like a well-tuned clock, sometimes with surprises, but always with purpose. This is the ice cream seller. His name is Jay. When he was little, he loved everything cold. He could stand by an open fridge for hours until his parents chased him away yelling. One day, he even said that when he grew up, he would build a room entirely out of refrigerators. And he kept his promise. Now, he has a whole 100 of them. At school, he loved cold milk, and if he saw that the food was hot, he immediately complained to the cook, saying it was unacceptable and that everything needed to be cooled to perfection. He refused to eat if the food was warm and sat with an empty tray while everyone else had lunch. The cook tried to convince him to try the soup, but he just shook his head, saying he dreamed of a truly cold menu. When he grew up, he didn't know where to work for a long time, because everywhere was too warm. Until one day he befriended a butcher. The shop was cool and cozy. They worked together for a long time, but later argued over who was the boss of cold. After leaving, Jay wandered the city for a long time and stumbled upon an ice cream shop. He went inside, looked around, and realized this was his place. Since then, he has worked there, making ice cream for everyone who, like him, loves the cold and a little bit of madness. This is the local guitarist, Larry. From a very young age, he was hairy and a little unusual. Even when he wore diapers, he already showed his curiosity. He could sit on the floor staring at the poop he had just taken out of his diaper. Of course, his parents were not thrilled with such curiosity. When Larry grew up, he went to school, and his curiosity showed in the way he rummaged through everyone's backpacks. Sometimes he quietly checked who had left which notebooks on the desks and who had neatly placed pencils in their cases. Because of this, he often had to talk to the principal in his office. At school, Larry was forbidden from continuing his unusual interests, so he just wandered the hallways. One day, he entered the music classroom and saw a guitar. He immediately fell in love with it because of the mysteriously captivating hole in the guitar. He took it home and played simple melodies for his cat, dreaming of something big. But his cat preferred to play with the robot vacuum, rather than listen to the guitar, which made Larry cry a lot. As Larry grew older, he started testing his skills on others. He played guitar for Jay from the ice cream shop, for his former friend the butcher, and even for the school janitor. However, they all told him he played badly, so he never saw a big concert. But Larry didn't get upset. He knew they didn't understand music, so he just played in the subway for passers-by. Many in the subway didn't like his music either, but some enthusiasts threw him money and enjoyed his sweet tunes. Larry often tried to change his image to appeal more to the audience. He tried all kinds of hairstyles and dyed his hair different colors and frequently dressed in new outfits, sometimes very unsuccessfully. That's our guitarist, and we truly love him just the way he is now. This is Mila, the local mail carrier. From a very young age, she was incredibly energetic and restless. Even in diapers, she constantly ran around the house, carrying everything she could: boxes, toys, slippers. Her parents tried to calm her down, but Mila was only happy when she could carry something from one room to another, even if it was completely unnecessary. When Mila went to school, she quickly realized that sitting at a desk was boring. During breaks, she loved dancing in the hallways, spinning, jumping on benches, and creating little shows for her classmates. Sometimes she would grab the school trumpet and try to play melodies while everyone around laughed, and some even sang along. As she grew older, Mila wasn't a mail carrier yet, but she was already looking for her path into adult life. She tried small jobs, delivering groceries to neighbors, helping in the shop, carrying letters to friends and relatives. Sometimes she would go into stores just to check who needed what, organize boxes on the shelves, help arrange small items, and observe people, learning accuracy and attentiveness. These simple tasks gradually taught her responsibility and precision. In the end, she became the best mail carrier in town. Thank you for watching. Write your comments under this video if you want to get into the next video, and also watch my previous video. I'm sure you'll definitely like it.